Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. My name is Lawrence Laddie. I am the host of Financial Independence Through Small Multifamily Investing. I'm here in the Bronx, New York. I have 6 units myself. I'm looking to scale this year to my focus is the Piedmont Triad area, also Norfolk, Virginia, and Huntsville, Alabama. I am part of the Myers Methods training and also part of the GOB network. So without further ado, this whole month we've been talking about mindset, right? We're talking about mindset. And the new year means nothing without a new mind, right? Because they say, if you always do what you always done, you'll always get what you always got, right? So this year, I said, let's change things around. Instead of just talking about business, let's get the mind right. And with that, I asked Mr. Hutch, the marine investor, come on tonight and talk about keeping the vision for 2022. Because a lot of times people get to this point here, like you go to the gym, they get into the third week, and you see a gym, you can find a parking spot. By the end of the middle of next month, you're gonna find more spaces. And by the end of March, you can park anywhere you park at, right? So it's very easy to let your vision slip away. So tonight, Hutch is going to give us the ultimate guide to keeping your vision and how to stay on the grind for 2022. Hutch, I want to say thank you for taking time out from your family and appreciate you coming on to share with us your knowledge on the topic of keeping the vision. Hutch, take it away.
Absolutely. Can everybody hear me good?
Oh,
All
yes,
right.
we hear you good.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Man, hey, Lawrence. I was driving back from Vegas. Athena and I, we just celebrated our 20-year wedding anniversary. And I was like, man, let me call my man. It's always good whenever you have those good moments in your life to be able to have those folks that you want to share that news with. And you're one of those guys that came to mind. So we hopped on the call, and that call led to here. So that was amazing.
Thank you, Hutch. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So hello, everyone. A wealth of information in here, with a wealth of experience. Some folks like my man Lee over there taking down hundreds, tens of millions of dollars in multifamily assets. That is absolutely amazing. And not only is that amazing, that is freaking inspirational, right? Because a lot of folks are choosing right now on a Tuesday afternoon or evening, depends on where you are in the world, to just go through life and let things be, right? But you guys and gals are taking the time to network in an effort to create a better version of ourselves. So I'm honored and humbled to be here. All right so Lawrence, look at the juice. Let me see if I got the juice.
Rock and roll, man. Don't burn
Yes,
nobody up
sir.
now. Don't burn nobody up.
No, I won't do that. So I was at work today, and I overheard a conversation. I've heard a couple of these conversations, and I went into the conversation, and I had to call some folks who would be like, "Look, who are you talking about?" You know, I'm this one of the things that I really against is talking about folks when they're not in the presence to defend themselves. So I won't burn nobody, my brother. Yeah, but look, some of the information that I speak today, I really ask that if you are burnt by the information that I say today, I ask that you let that candle use that to light a candle and keep the fire burning, right? So sometime when we speak, like a lot of the things that I'm going to say today comes out of my brain housing group, and a lot of it will not mean anything to you because right now none of it is true to you because it's not yet real, right? But sometimes we have to trust the things that are um, we develop some belief on things that we no longer yet believe, right? So we know it's true, but we no longer yet believe it. We not yet believe it. So vision. Let me go back to gallery view before we get into the presentation. By the show of hands, who has a life vision? If you have a life vision, put a one in the chat box. Now, if you have a life vision and you would like to share the life vision with us, put a two in the chat box. Here we go. Jason, you're the first one. So let's get Jason and let's get Kenneth to share their life vision with us.
So basically, my life vision is to be able to support my kids. I've got a special needs son, and his future is questionable for the ability to work on his own. So my life's vision is to create generational wealth where he doesn't have to worry about money, and there's people around him taking care of that. So my overall plan over the next 10 to 15 years is to invest in multifamily businesses and passive cash flowing businesses, so that way he's guaranteed a bright future regardless of what happens. So
Tight. Who's next?
I go my life vision. It's been a work in progress. Is this time and financial freedom to spend time with family and friends back here now that I'm retired, be able to do the activities and experiences with them, and not be constrained by work or money worries or anything like that. So time and financial freedom to pursue activities with family members.
Nice. One more. Mr. Jose, you want to share with us?
Sure. Well, my life vision is, as everybody else, would be just to create that generational wealth. But most importantly, I want to be able to be have the power and influence to instill crazy faith in people who didn't grow up, in wealthy environments and came from nothing. I want to be able to show others that it is possible, and it starts with what we're talking about today, with the mindset. So aside from the norm of being financially free and not having money be an issue, I just want to instill belief in these little kids. I just want to be able to because I don't want them to to think it's all about money. I want them to know the value of hard work. So for me, it's not just the houses and cars. I want to be able to make an influence and have and be a positive influence.
Nice. Oh man, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you, Jason, Ken, and Jose for sharing. That is great. So what we're hearing is something very common, right? We're hearing is very common. It's like they're aspiring to build something that is outside of them, right? They're looking to serve others, and that is absolutely amazing. Because look, when your vision is bigger than just who you are, just you as an individual, then it wakes you up in the morning because you now have people that are dependent on you, and it is absolutely important. Bob Proctor said, whenever let me go back to this presentation. Whenever we create a vision for ourselves, we really need to identify, right? Because sometimes we get we feel this imposter syndrome when we ask ourselves, am I worthy enough for my vision? But what I really want for you to ask yourself is is my vision worthy enough for me? Right? Because we have limitless potential, right? And I got some life quotes that I live by that I will touch on as we go through this presentation. Look, I'm Hutch, the marine investor. I did not grow up with a gold spoon in my mouth. I come from the life that some few can only imagine, abundance of wealth. No gold spoon, but I came from a life where only few can imagine, abundance of wealth. And what I mean by wealth is that you won't think this is it, but this is it. I grew up going to school, walking to school bare feet, right? Every meal that we ate, we had to grow those pigs. We had to raise those chickens, right? We had to raise those things. We had to plant every vegetable that we ate, right? I was fortunate we have a river that ran through our plantation, what used to be a slave plantation, like literally direct descendant of slave, picking coffee on that plantation. That is my life. But what the reason why I say I grew up wealthy is because we had rich culture and we had family that stuck together, right? No one else. I mean, we fight all the time, but we stuck together, and that's crazy, right? So we had abundance of food, vegetable, and family, and it epitomized. It took a family, it take a village to raise a child. So I appreciate the community setting. All right. Okay. So we're gonna talk about the importance of having a life vision. We're also going to talk about what is a life vision and some consideration when creating a life vision. Also going to talk about the difference between vision and goals, and then we dive into some how to create some goals, and then a little bit of guides of some things that I use to create visions for my company, 8 Square Capital, and also in my life. All right. So over at 8 Square Capital, our vision is we believe that we should, and everything we do should improve someone's journey. We do this by bringing veterans, retired service members, and high net worth investor together to build wealth and get their time back. We just happen to syndicated purchase of apartment complexes, right? So that's the vision for 8 Square Capital. Now, why is it important to have a vision for your life? So your vision, it is something that you're working towards. Now, not only something that you're working towards, it's a quality of life that you're looking to achieve, the greatest version of yourself. It has to be inspiring. It really has to be inspiring. Because think about this, right? If you was to wake up and go to a job that pays you $100 an hour, right? I trust that a lot of folks will be super energetic to wake up almost every day to go to this $100+ an hour. Now, change that vision and imagine a situation where you go to work for the bare minimum. And that might be the case of some folks in this room, right? For the bare minimum. It's not as inspirational as, working towards something that is significantly bigger. And that is your life vision. If you're working for minimum wage, it should not it should not minimize or limit the vision that you want to create for your life. Because Einstein says that our vision or imagination is a preview of what is to come. So as we create the vision for our life, it needs to be big and audacious and inspiring, right? It needs to give you a sense of purpose. It also needs to give you a clear idea. The vision will give you a clear idea, but it will be supported by your goals, which we will talk about here shortly. It give you a clear idea of where you want to go and the quality of life that you want to create for yourself. It also provides guidance through tough times and motivate you whenever things get tough. Because look, if you want to attain greatness, chances are you're going to suffer greatly. Now, what is vision? So my explanation for what is a vision is our life's vision is a blueprint. It's a blueprint that we have created to be the preferred future state that does not yet exist. Our preferred future state that not yet exists. Look, a lot of us we know aspire to build a dream home. Maybe after you get involved in an apartment complex, you might change that a little bit and say you might not want to own a home, right? It might not no longer be the American dream for you. But a lot of folks aspire to build a dream home, and you imagine this concept within your mind. You imagine what it looks like as you drive up to this property. You imagine what it looks like as you walk into the foyer, and it might be 2 double stairs that kind of curves together with a landing that overlooks the foyer and the living room and all these greatness that we can create in our mind. And look, you will not get a vision of a future that you're not capable of creating. So create a way and ensure that the future state that you create, it's inspiring. All right. So here's some consideration. Here's some things to take in consideration whenever we are creating our life's vision. So we may not yet be living up to our full potential. And in order to actually get to that full potential, we have to acquire adequate information. In order to acquire this adequate information, we need to get off the island. I'm from an island, so this kind of resonates with me, right? Not only did I grew up on an island, I also went to Paris Island as a boot camp, and then I got sent to an island of Hawaii for 10 years and 3 months, right? So I have a whole bunch of different references to islands. But when Athena and we got into real estate, is that we realized that we were trying to figure things out by ourselves, and we did not know what we did not know. The same is true about the future that you want to create. You know, take for example, taxes. They said change your facts and you change your tax. A great multitude of us who's not in multifamily investment the concept is, you know, you go to school, get a great job, and you know, pay your tax like a good little boy and girl, and you save for retirement, right? But when you start to get more information, it shifts your paradigm. And a lot what you find, the caveat to that is, as you start to get off this island and get more information, the caveat to that is that the people who are in your circle, right, at times you no longer identify with them. So it's important that you pay attention, and when you get off the island, you see when it's necessary to create a new circle. Because look, the information that you seek will challenge your paradigm, and it will also challenge your comfort zone. Tony Robbins says that a lot of us, we don't lack resource, we lack resourcefulness. And the effective use of the resource of a resource will definitely push us out of our comfort zone. And right outside of your comfort zone, that is where your success starts. So we need to ensure that the vision that we've created, the future state we have created for ourselves, right, is going to push us out of our comfort zone as our paradigm shifts. You know, so pay attention to the people that you surround yourself with, and ensure that you continuously evolve and you improve your circle. Don't leave your family and friends, right? You might not be associated or conversate with them on the same level that you do, but never go back to what conversation used to be. I miss the old time. Sorry, that was the old me. It's a new me now, and this is how I talk, right? I got a new vocabulary. Things like BS no longer mean, you know, our old term of BS. It now as mean a new belief system, right? But I have a new vocabulary now. I think different. I speak different. I carry myself different, right? My future goals are a little bit different, right? So, how do you work towards accomplishing life goals, right? So goals are specific. In regular conversation, when we ask folks about what is the vision for your life, some folks will give you the answer that is consistent with goals, right? But goals are specific, objective, that we looking to achieve. A lot of them, they have a timeline, short term, long term, right? So when you compare your goals with your vision, we're now talking tactics versus strategy, and that's the military version of me coming out, right? So the president or civilian leaders, they create what's called a national defense strategy. That's the big vision for where America is going, right? Now, when it comes down to my level, I get goals and I get missions, right? Every day we have a mission to execute, and that mission is in support of the overall vision. So every single goal that you have for your life need to support the vision that you have created for
I'm about to
yourself.
block you right now on Twitter. Right now. Whoever sent me this. Bro, what dog, what are you doing, bro? Like, dude.
Ain't nothing but just some entertainment there, Mr. International. All right, so goals are tactics, while your visions are strategy. Can everyone hear me correctly? Good. Can you hear me good, Lawrence?
We could hear you.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, good. All right, so now another analogy. If you was to consider a forest, your goals would be the tree, and your vision would be the forest, right? Now, as you create your vision, a lot of things we have to take in consideration, our beliefs, our talents, and our skills, right? And then all these ties into our vision. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about the vision that I had for my life growing up. Now, in this small community that I grew up in a mountainside in Jamaica, I was exposed to a lot of beautiful relationships, but I also saw a lot of fights on a daily basis. The paradigm that I was exposed to of, aunties, uncles beating aunties, and grown cousins, fighting to the brink of to the brink of death, and there's just a lot of life challenges that I saw growing up, right? A lot of single parents, single moms, single dad. So growing up, the vision that I have for my future as far as a family goes, right, was that I'm gonna grow up, I'm gonna have 3 children, and I'm gonna have to raise them by myself because that's what I was exposed to, right? But what I did know is that I value family, strong family values. I want to be the best father possible, even though I didn't grow up with my father. Right? He came and go. He had his own family, and he called that his new family. Right? But I had strong family values, and because of the father that my father was not, it helps me to improve the father that I want to be and the father that I am today, right? So the vision that I had for my future, strong family values. I know I wanted to be a great father, but I did not have the support system to show me what that looked like. And I was fortunate, and I was telling you earlier, just celebrated 20 years with my beautiful wife, Athena, right? And Athena have helped me to shape that paradigm and help me to create something that is freaking remarkable. And the relationship that we have right now is compared is nothing like I've seen growing up. And so I say that to say this is that the things that we have exposed to in our childhood that kind of shape our paradigm, right? We can change it. We can change it if we constantly seek a better vision of our future. Did Sean raise his hand? Got a question? Sean, you got a question? All right, keep pushing. All right, so a vision, our vision is long term, and it's something that we should revisit on a regular basis to make sure that it's still accurate and represent what we want for our life, right? Super important that we continuously revisit our vision. Now, does anyone want to help us to understand why would it be absolutely important to constantly revisit our vision?
Can I go?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, because things change, life changes, family grows, goals change. So as like for instance, look at this. Look what we're dealing with now. You know how businesses had to adjust. So there's always going to be something that's going to have you. That's something that's gonna require you to switch up your plans and what they say technology is always going to be room for improvement. That's why people say we never stop learning because there's always something to learn.
Tight. Yeah, appreciate that. Absolutely. As you grow, your vision must grow. Think about this. A lot of us have read the books Think and Grow Rich. I've read this book several times, and every single time I read this book, right, I learned something new from it. Why is that? It's not that the word change, is that the change has happened within me, right? And I've grown. I've implemented, right? I've executed, and now I value the information that I seek a lot more. So it's absolutely important to constantly revisit the vision that we've established for ourselves. Now, this just give you an example of a goal. Say, for instance, your goal is to zing the world through creative storytelling. The roadmap you might want to create would be to, the goals or the roadmap you want to create is publish a short ebook. It doesn't have to be the big book. Again, it can be the book. It doesn't have to be the book. can be the book, right? Get it published on Amazon, create an e-course, sell it through your platform, whether it be Udemy, Teachable, write a blog, so on and so forth. It's everything that you possibly need to get your information and your name out there, right? People can know, like, and trust us if they don't know who we are. They can't like and trust if they don't know who we are. And a lot of us, we are aspiring to be real estate investor, whether it be passive or active investor. And those are the investor triangle, the know, like, and trust. Folks cannot like or trust you if they don't know who you are. So get out there and share with the world who you are as a spiritual being. All right. So now here we kind of narrow it down. This is a breakdown of my vision. There's a breakdown, right? It's not all of it. It's a small summary. It's 2030. I have developed a real estate syndication business so that it provides my family with independence and financial security. For the past 2 years, we have written a 6-figure check to our church and nonprofit organization. I still spend quality time with the ones that I care the most about. I have a beautiful, mutually beneficial relationship with each one of my children. My wife and I are in love now more than ever, and it's improving, right? And that is just a summary. See, look, we all in real estate syndication. A lot of us are in real estate business, and as we look to inspire or get folks to invest in a project, we do what is called an executive summary of the deal, right? That is super important because when an investor look at this executive summary, it's like the not really a got you, but it needs to draw them in. We're like, okay, now tell me more. The same thing about the vision of our life. When we read it, we should want to continue reading. Now, this vision for life vision for my life, it goes on to it's a few pages long. I didn't create it myself. I find that if I ask myself these questions that I need to help me to create my future, I will tend to not be mediocre, but it's not as bold. So what I do, I have somebody that is my favorite person in the world. One of my favorite person in the world, because I got 4 or 5 of them, right? So I had Athena will sit me down and she asks me questions. And when she asks me question, I'm not just answering this question. Now I'm thinking about how does the one that choose me to spend the rest of her life with, how will she perceive me? And how can I ever looking forward to every single day, right? So these things, when I answer these questions and I create the future vision, the future state in my head, it has to be bold, exciting, and also attainable, right? For both of us. So I asked Athena sit me down, she asked me these questions, and then she types super fast so she can capture everything that I'm saying, right? So it helps me to create a brighter version of the possibility in the future state. All right. Now, this is not really a presentation on goal setting, but goals are super important. And I think by now we realize this. Your goals and the audaciousness of your goal, right, will determine how excited you are about your goals. So look, it's important that you write down your goals as if you already achieved them, right? When you do this, it puts yourself in a mental state as if you already achieve it. Now, but if you ever bought the Powerball, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat box. If you bought the Powerball, put a 1 in the chat box. Right? So a lot of us did, right? So I can almost put some money on it, right? Probably buy your free Powerball ticket and say, here you go. That a lot of us, we are more intrigued or more enticing to buy the Powerball when it's a couple $100 million. Over Christmas, it was over $500 million, right? Because that is how big and audacious our goals want to be. We understand that if we had the opportunity to control $500 million, if we had an opportunity, the impact we can make in our personal life, the amount of freaking real estate we can buy to ensure that for generations and top of generations, ourselves and our family and our small community can never have to want our needs again, right? That's how big our vision is supposed to be. And when we write down our goals, when we have goals to execute, that is how big they need to be. A lot of folks said, don't make your goals too big because you might get depressed, or you might scare away, you might not accomplish them. But mediocrity is not exciting. There's nothing exciting about a mediocre future. Nothing. And people say that they have this fallacy about rich folks, about how it's, I see this in church a lot. I grew up in a church. It's harder for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God. I mean, it's easier for a camel to go to the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Look, if you're a crappy human being, you are just a crappy human being. And money is going to freaking expose who you are as a spiritual being. It's just going to, right? But if you are a great spiritual being who live their life of service, who have strong family values, who want to create impact in the community, right? And not really expecting anything in return, just want to see people do good and live good, right? The greatness of the future that you want to create need to be exciting. It needs to be bold. It needs to be bold. So when you write your goals down, make sure your goals are bold and they're exciting. Create a timeline. Now, as you create those big goals, you can break them down, parade rest, into simpler form, right? Big goals, big vision, big goals, smaller goals to chip it away at those goals. And it has a deadline, right? Identify the obstacle, identify some of those skills and knowledge that you need to accomplish those goals, right? And then network. Look, our good friends, Mr. International right here, he has created an ecosystem for a lot of you to come week after week to talk about the vision for your life, to talk about the things you're aspiring to accomplish, to talk about the spiritual being, the you that you're aspiring to accomplish. Now, look, when you start talking about that, there's something transformational that's happening. You're not just saying these as words. You speaking this out into the freaking invisible ether, right? And when you do that, what you find is that you inevitably create a broad network of accountability partners. And if you were thinking big, you get an accountability partner, but you also inspiring others, like our good friend Lee, right? Closing on hundreds of units. That's inspiring. When he speaks those words, he's inspiring those folks who think that buying a duplex is a really big audacious goal. And don't get me wrong, it's a big audacious goal for a lot of us, right? It's a big deal because I'm the guy who grew up walking to school barefoot. So that's a big deal to me, right? But as you know more, you grow more, and you get to see more of what is possible. All right. So build a network and build a network and stay committed to that network, and ensure that you continue to talk about your goals and continue to execute. All right. Now, I want to talk about this 4-step plan. Now, if building wealth is what you want, I want to break this down a little bit. And I got this from Napoleon Hill, The Think and Grow Rich. And so a lot of you who have read this book over and over can resonate with it. It talks about the plan. Let's say your vision is surrounding creating wealth, right? This is a couple of action steps. Decide on the exact amount of wealth that you want to create. And not only is it important for you to decide the exact amount, it's important for you to decide in what form. Do you want this in income producing asset, cash flow? For me, I have a retirement number. When I retire from the Marine Corps, I need a specific number, or at least a number, to maintain and have the ability to improve my life, the quality of life for myself and my family, right? So I know I need cash flow, but I also know that I want to be an accredited investor. So that need to be a certain amount per year, right? And also I know I want certain network. So I know exactly in what form that I want to develop this wealth within the next 24 months before I retire from the Marine Corps. All right. So your vision. This is one of the things that I've been living my life by, and I consider to be very important. And if you can hear this and capture this down on paper, it should be very inspirational and should serve as a real good guide for yourself going forward, right? As you create your vision, you write down your goal, the exciting goal. I need for you to think about this. It is the people whose life you could be changing will suffer the most if we think small. It is the people whose life we could be changing will suffer the most if we think small. So as you decide on the amount of wealth that you want to create, make sure that we're taking those people into consideration as well. Now, the second one is to make a decision. Make a decision on what you're willing to give. Now, as you look at my goals that support my vision, it will tell you that I'm willing to commit at least 4 hours per day. I blocked off 2 hours in the morning from 04 to 06. That's for me. That's for me to work on my life's vision. And then in the afternoon from 7 to 2100. So from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Right? That's my time to work on my vision. So that is a time that I'm willing to give. And what comes with that is a little bit of family time. There's a little bit of sacrificing. So we have to sacrifice something in order to get something. Right? Set an exact date. I have 24 months to which I want to create a vision and create a plan to accomplish this desire, and and make sure that we stick to it and we execute. So these next two slides is pretty much the ultimate guide, and this is just going to focus more on giving you some tactics. It's important that you get clear on your vision. I gave you a lot of usable information to get clear on your vision. Make a list of things. That include you write down some things that are important to you, and each one of these things that are important to you, use them to build a portion of your life that supports your overall vision. Remember, your vision is not just real estate. Your vision is not just a great job. Your vision is not just a good marriage. Your vision is not just being closer to God. It's really all encompassing, and it's important that we write down that list and then build several paragraphs. Take several days and write these things out. Read it over and over again, and make sure that you feel it. You feel that happiness, that joy of living towards that life that you want to create for yourself. Okay. Now, one of the very important tactics that I've utilized since 2019 to see exceptional transformation in the spiritual being that I'm aspiring to create is by implementing the life savers. So this comes from the book The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And if you're looking for some ninja tips of ways to make yourself, to create the best version of yourself, this is it. It's the 6 life-saving steps that's taken from the ultra wealthy, the ultra successful, whether it be an athlete or a business person, right? Motivational speaker. The S stands for silence. A lot of us, we meditate. A lot of us, we pray, right? And that's where we find our silence. Affirmations. A lot of us, we have affirmation. It's the thing that we repeatedly tell ourselves. Look, a lot of people who are not successful, they have some pretty freaking bold affirmation. They just keep repeating that BS over and over again. That belief system, the things that they constantly tell themselves over and over again. And believe me, if you tell yourself enough lies, you will believe it. If you tell yourself enough greatness about yourself, you will start to believe, like Mr. International was telling a young lady earlier, that you have greatness within you. Les Brown will tell you, I don't know you, but I know this about you. You have greatness within you. We all have that greatness within us, and we can tap into it by ensuring that we are purposeful about our affirmation. Now, the visualization is where we have to see that blueprint. We really have to see it, because, whatever we can create in our mind, we can achieve it. You will not get a vision. You will not get a vision of your future unless you're capable of attaining that future. We're just not that smart. We're just not that smart to have a vision of a future we're not being able to attain, right? So exercise, it makes no sense for us to want to attain all this wealth and we're sick. If you're sick, you can't enjoy it. If you're sick, your family probably will not be able to enjoy you as well, right? And of course, reading, we don't know what we don't know. We don't have enough time in a day to live the life experience that we want to live. So somebody somebody have experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly, and they have put them in a freaking book, and we can capture that within 3 hours, whether through an audiobook or we want to sit down and read the book for 10 hours, but we can capture it in 3-4 hours, right? Listening to it 1.5 times the speed, and we can absorb the quality, we can absorb the content a lot faster. And of course, that's scribe. Now, scribing is important. Now, I see some of you going off to the side and writing. It is not what I'm saying is that it's important. It is how you interpret it and figuring out how valuable it is to your life and the things that you choose to implement. And it's through scribing is where your own creativity and the value comes out in the information that you went and seek, right? I want to say never lose self-control. The biggest failure of men and women is a loss of self-control. Loss of self-control. If you look at folks who struggle with who struggle, choice of words, who struggle with poor spending habits, right? Who struggle to have a meaningful conversation with others, who struggle to keep a job. You look deep in, and what you'll find is that the fundamental reason why these failures keep happening over and over is because of a lack of self-control. A lack of self-control. That is the biggest demise to a lot of us. Okay. And look, folks, get excited about being you. I was reading a report recently that 1/3 of America is unhappy with their life. Don't let that be you. Every single day, my friends, every single day we wake up, we get a chance. We get another chance. And with that chance, in all aspects of our life, we get the opportunity to make choices that enriches who we are aspiring to be, choices that enriches the relationship that we come in contact with, choices to create a better financial future for ourselves and our family. Every single day we get a choice. Look, that C that I talk about, it comes between B and D. So your life is the C between B and D. B is your birth, and it's inevitable unless we get raptured by one day, right? By the Holy Spirit, come like a thief in the night and snatch you up and take you to the promised land. Unless that happened, which is a great thing for a lot of us, right? Chances are it never going to happen. We're going to die. So we got birth and we got death. And everything else, the quality of life we live is based on the choices that we make, right? So some of the choices as a real estate investor, don't break the chain techniques is a really good one. And all it is identify some things that you're going to do. Yona Weiss got us posting for 10 days straight, right? CRE, hashtag CRE10 or hashtag 10 CRE, I think it was, right? It's a 10-day challenge to post every single day on LinkedIn, right? And what that is, it develops habits because you get into your creative thinking, right? And you know folks in your network is kind of expecting to hear what you have to say, right? What are some of those inspirational quotes that Sean is going to put down today? Right? What is Mr. International going to say today about, the analogy of a train as a life experience, right? As a train driver or a train conductor or anyone working in the train, how can we help that to relate to anyone that ride the subway, right? How can they relate that to investment? See, all these little life experience that we have that a lot of folks are looking forward for us to share with them. They use it as inspiration. They use it to grow, and they use it to create a better life for themselves. So don't break the chain techniques, whether it's listen to a podcast that you're committed to, reading a book that you're committed to, savings, investing, and also creating relationships that you come in contact with, right? Make sure this one is absolutely important. These last two is absolutely important. Make sure that your vision deserve you. Make sure that your vision deserves you. Eliminate all mediocrity from your way of thinking and go freaking big. This is yours. The future is yours to create, not for you to live by default. And the only way I was able to propel my financial and my investment journey is by having an accountability partner. Dr. Jones and I, H Squared Capital, his name is Heath. I go by Hutch. So H Squared, he's a doctor. So of course you got to put some scientific term to this thing. So H Squared Capital, the way we met at a conference out in Dallas, Fort Worth in 2019, right? And we were fortunate to have Hal Elrod as the guest speaker. One of the things he talked about, where if you aspire to achieve greatness in your life, is to find an accountability partner who understand what you're trying to do and is able to support that. So after the conference, Heath and I, we decided to become accountability partners, and we did that for several months. We started underwriting deal together. We started traveling to different markets together. And before you know it, we formed H Squared Capital because we realized that our vision aligns, and we are the partners that we want to spend a very long time with until we outgrow each other. I don't think it's going to happen, but as long as we continue growing together, I think we will continue to see H Squared Capital be successful. So find somebody who can be your accountability partner, right? And I want to touch on relationship real quick. Relationship is absolutely important because a lot of us. I wrote down 3. Jason is living this cause, living this vision for his son. Ken is the same thing as well. You want to create a time and financial freedom for his loved ones, right? And Jose, he wants to impact the community to ensure that he can be the example for people to follow, right? Now, a lot of that stuff can't really happen if our home life is not okay. Your home is where that thing starts. And it's really important that your home is happy. And I tell you, I was fortunate to get this information really early in my marriage. It was 2002, less than a year after I got married. I was getting ready to leave for Iwakuni, Japan. Freshly married. Now I'm getting to leave my wife for 6 months. Right? We just now really learning what it really means to live with each other and appreciate each other. And now I have to leave again to break this thing that we've been building. So we went to the squadron. We were supposed to leave, and we said our goodbyes, and the plane did not show up. So of course we went back home, and the plane was supposed to show up. So we said our goodbyes again. We went back to the hangar. The plane did not show up. So this happened twice. Right? So the commanding officer get wind that there was some pre-deployment anticipation building up. He got the chaplain to come and talk to us. And I don't remember anything else that the chaplain said, but I remember this. And I trust that if you are newly married, if you've been married for a long time, this would improve your marriage, or it will help you to become a better version for the person that you're going to meet in the future. And what the chaplain said was really earth-shattering. I mean, it's game-changing. He said, Marines, never lose your relationship trying to win an argument. Never lose your relationship trying to win an argument. And I've looked at Athena. I've communicated with Athena from that point, from that perspective, ever since. And it's been 20 beautiful years. I never once yelled at her. I never called her out of her name. And she have granted me the same level of respect, honor, courtesy. And I believe we're creating a great vision for our future. So take her home and create a vision from that point. All right, Mr. International, it's yours.
Thank you, man. Listen, I don't give you. Listen, I could give you a round of applause, Hutch. I really that was fire, man. That was fire, man. That was fire.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate the opportunity.
Fire, man. No, I appreciate you coming on, taking the time, man. Whew. I don't know about anybody else. I took some notes. And that last part, ooh, man. So I have a question, Hutch, because everybody throws this question out, right?
All right.
You hear on podcasts, right? Here's a question. Why do you think people don't make it in real estate, right? Why don't go with 100%? But forget that part, right? Because what do you think is really stopping people? What do you think will really stop people this year from realizing their greatness this year? What is the main thing that stops people from their greatness?
This shit is hard. I mean, it's not easy. It's really, really not easy. It's a simple process, but it's definitely not easy, right? And what happened is that when a lot of folks, it's just like Uncle Brother Jerome says, a lot of folks romanticize real estate investing, right? Generational wealth, whoo-hoo, generational wealth. I got you, generational wealth. But what does that really mean? What does that take? Because investing in the syndication model is like really watching paint dry or even watching grass grow. It's a really boring investment. And a lot of folks, they want the quick fix, right? I love flipping property. It's super, it's exciting. I like going by the property and see how things are going. I like talking to contractor. I like, looking for properties and all the good stuff. It's exciting. $30,000 on a flip. Woohoo, good to go. But then you pay, how many taxes? Okay, that's earned income.
Right.
Right. So you get that quick fix, but it's earned income. Right. So I think the reason why a lot of folks, I wouldn't necessarily say they fail, but they don't have the stick-to-itiveness, right, for whenever things get hard, to continue to press on. I've had friends who have lost their family in the process, right? But they have a bigger vision. Like, look, at some points, some of you might have. I hope this is not the case, but might have already gone through divorce because look, your vision for your future and who you want as a spiritual being no longer aligned with the other individual. And this business is risky, and sometimes you have to make a choice. Grant Cardone told his wife, like, I will give up anything for you. I just will not give up on my dreams. Because if you don't get to create the greatest version of yourself and you live in the life the way somebody else really wants you to live, is that really living? And is that really living with a purpose? Is that really living an enjoyable future? This stuff get hard. This stuff get challenging. And if you don't have a strong foundation at home, it's going to challenge a lot of stuff that you stand for. And sometimes some folks have an ultimatum that diminishes their stick-to-itiveness, and maybe their vision is just not their vision is just not exciting enough, and also not shared with those people that mean enough to them.
Anybody has any questions?
It's a very long answer to you.
Yeah, that's okay. Listen. You know what? Some things deserve, you gotta get an understanding of it, right? You gotta create. And it's funny you said that, because the foundation is what when you're building something, you gotta have the strong foundation first and foremost.
Right.
Right. So does anybody have any questions for Hutch? James, I see you got off.
Yeah, screen. I don't have a question, just more of a comment, but I just appreciate what you said. I never thought of it in that way about, you say, are you worthy of your goals or your dreams? But on the flip side, are they worthy of you? So that really, I haven't heard it put that way before. So different way to look at it. So it was that, take that from here. That's one big takeaway I took from everything you said. So thank you for that.
Hi.
So does anybody have any comment, any questions?
I'll go, Lawrence. Hutch, I appreciate the share and taking the time to put that together and then, preach the truth today. I've been just a couple comments. I've been a follower of Hal Elrod since 2019, and I haven't found anything else that has added up a well-rounded balance to my life than following his lifesavers that he outlined. There's definitely a couple of those letters that I was missing in my life, so adding those into my daily routine added a lot of value for me. You touched on the goals a little bit. I know this is mostly a mindset thing, but I think that whenever we're setting goals, I think the Grant Cardones of the world will say, set wild goals, 10 extra goals, 2 extra goals, whatever. But I think that the question that we always forget to ask ourselves is, what are we willing to sacrifice to get there? And so you talked to, I think we're all sacrificing a little bit of time away from family, this evening, so that's kind of an example. But so if you're setting a 10x goal, be prepared to sacrifice 10x as well. So just some things to keep in mind too. But great talk tonight, Hutch. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else? Okay, going once, going twice. I want to thank you, Hutch, again for coming on tonight. I appreciate it. Appreciate the presentation.